Hello, friends. Welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm reading to you today out of the Psalms, Psalm 40, verses 1 through 3. Hear now these words. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet on a rock, and he gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. Now, the inscription for this psalm says it's for the director of music. It's a psalm of David. David, of course, is the man who became the second king of Israel, and he is a man who's known as having a heart after God's own heart. And I find it very interesting that here in this psalm, David does something that unless we're paying attention, we might totally miss it. He starts by saying, I waited patiently for the Lord. Well, that key word is waited. And then the second key word is patiently. How often do we want something just like that? Instantly, as soon as we think it, we want it. We've lost how to wait. We've lost how to wait patiently when we do have to wait. But God's timing and our timing aren't synchronous. They aren't the same. And sometimes God knows we need to wait and to wait patiently. Now, when we're in a really good place, we can wait all right, and it's not as big a deal, but David is waiting patiently. Did you see where? In the slimy pit. Now, to understand the context of that, in the wilderness around Judea, where David grew up, there were lots of rocky places, but there were also these places where water would collect because the water would flow downhill, and every once in a while it would find a place where it would drop down and then it wouldn't escape again. And so rain after rain after rain, runoff after runoff after runoff, it creates this slimy, muddy, icky place that if you aren't paying attention, you're suddenly falling, sliding into that muddy, mucky, slimy pit. And evidently this is what's happened to David. He's now in a cold, wet, murky, dark place. Mud and mire. And that's where he waits patiently. Can you do that? Can I do that? But we need to wait patiently, because when God moves in a mighty way and puts that new song into our mouths, a hymn of praise to God. So my friends, if you're in a muddy, mucky, miry place, wait patiently. If you've been rescued, then sing your praises to God and do it as loudly as you can. And I'll see you tomorrow for another daily devotion.